Welcome into 5 Wide Fantasy. Today's video, must start players for week 16 on OwnersBox. These players are going to be great starts in your DFS contests on the platform, as well excellent players to play in your season-long leagues for the semifinals of your fantasy championship. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. Like the video as well, would greatly appreciate it. If you guys haven't signed up for OwnersBox, it's the best way to support us, support the channel. The link to sign up is down below in the description. We're going to give you 2 free entries and as well, match your deposit 100% up to $500. Get in here for both our Saturday full slate of contests, or Saturday full slate contest, as well as our Christmas Day contest. We got tons going on the platform. I want to, before we get going on my full lineup, I want to introduce you guys, if you haven't seen already, to Lightning Lineups. I'm going to show you for our Thursday only contest. I have it now for you up on the screen. So if you haven't played Lightning Lineups, how it works is you're presented with 3 teams of 3 players each, and you pick the one that you think is going to score the most fantasy points. So we even have them for single game slates as well. So as I scroll through, I did, look at some of these matchup or some of these lineups before we jumped on here. All you have to do, click the Lightning Lineups button, and you can just scroll through and get as many lineups as you like come up to you. So I'm going to go through a couple lineups, kind of give you my analysis on them and which one is one of my favorites. So I do hunt for in this matchup. I do like the Jets passing game in this matchup against the Jaguars. Jaguars are a good run defense, struggle quite mightily against the pass, one of the worst teams in fantasy points allowed to wide receivers and quarterbacks. So stacking Zach Wilson with Elijah Moore isn't a bad play. Corey Davis isn't in the player pool right now just because his status for Thursday is up in the air, but he's definitely an option. Their passing game is definitely what I'm focusing on. So as I scroll through, there was one that I saw that had Garrett Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, and Travis Etienne. But if I can find anything I like just as much, I will look to that too. But nothing as much there that really pops out. Garrett Wilson, Zach Wilson, Jermichael Hasty. That one looks good here. Trevor Lawrence with Marvin Jones. As long as I don't get like Trevor Lawrence stacked with Marvin Jones not Marvin Jones, Zay Jones or Christian Kirk, I feel good about it. This one would be the biggest one I'm worried about, Christian Kirk and Travis Etienne. So let's keep spinning, see if we can find something that sticks out even better. Garrett Wilson with Ty Conklin. I don't as much want to go spin on this one as well. Christian Kirk, Elijah Moore, Travis Etienne. This is a pretty good trio here, my gosh. But this is a good trio as well, so that one's a bit tougher. Because Elijah Moore's role will be impacted for sure if Corey Davis is playing. I think it will be impacted. This one's solid. I would probably go, I would like this one. I'm going to keep spinning, but that would be my favorite there. Whoa, okay. Yeah, I would go here. This would be my favorite lineup here that we've seen so far. Doesn't include Wilson, which is a problem, but getting a quarterback with the RB1 for the Jags, and then Elijah Moore, who's starting to come on here with Zach Wilson. We saw it last week, put up a serviceable game for you. So I would go with this. And again, in bigger slates, you can add more lineups to increase your payout. But right now, in a 3 lineup entry, your payout is 2.25. So a $10 or $100 wager would pay you $225. So you can submit. You can also submit and enter for free if you use promo code Lightning10 when you're playing. So, all right, let's move along and get to the full slate on Saturday. All right, on to the full slate. As you guys know, super flex spots. So we're working with 2 QBs and a regular 2 flex spots, tight end, and filling out the wide receiver, running back positions. So as always, starting at the quarterback spot, there are a few in the main slate on Saturday that do stick out to me as really favorable. You're looking at Josh Allen against the Bears. I still think Fields week in and week out is a great play. I think he hasn't scored less than 20 fantasy points on the platform since mid-October, so he's just an automatic 20 points guy. Daniel Jones, one of my favorite streamers this week if he's available in your season-long leagues, against Minnesota, who've been stout against the run but have been terrible against the pass this season. Great for fantasy quarterbacks. A few others. Gardner Minshew, I don't think is a terrible play against Dallas. This is an offense that has elite protection, elite players at the skill positions. We're bringing back Dallas Goedert, it looks like, as well. So Minshew's got the weapons, and I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up like a 2-3 touchdown game here against Dallas as well. Darnold against Detroit. Detroit has really rounded into form against the run. They're top 10 in fantasy points allowed to running backs, but have been very good to quarterbacks. I think they're the worst fantasy defense against fantasy quarterbacks. So definitely a good look there as well. And then, Davis Mills against the Titans. The problem is I think this game is going to be really low scoring because it looks like Ryan Tannehill's status is not looking great. So that keeps me away from Mills. But so looking at quarterback, I think the two I want to go with, though, Justin Fields. I'm not going to pair him with a wide receiver like I typically would because he gives us such a great floor and great upside with his rushing ability. But man, the Bills will be a decent matchup for him. Like the Bills defense has taken a step back in recent weeks, and I think that the Fields has really elevated this offense, and it's all on him through the pass and through the run. So I like Fields, and then pairing him, the one that I mentioned I like is Sam Darnold. Like I think the Panthers will need to lean in the pass yet again, and they'll struggle to run the ball. So I like going with Darnold and pairing him with DJ Moore as a stack. I like Moore. Moore would definitely be someone if you're in your season-long leagues and he's in your lineup or he's on your team. I'd look to start him. I like him as like a good solid wide receiver too this week. There should be good volume for him against the Lions. And then let's go flip to running back. Some of the biggest ones that stick out, Dalvin Cook in an excellent matchup against the Giants. We saw Brian Robinson look really good. Didn't find the end zone, but looked really good on Monday night. Kamara against the Browns. I love chasing this Browns matchup, kind of regardless of who the running back is. The Browns have not been good against the run. We saw the Ravens look really good on the ground. If the Ravens were in a neutral game script, they probably would have run for over 200 yards in that game. No problem. Good one there. Even the Ravens are in a good matchup against Atlanta. Isaiah Pacheco, Jerick McKinnon. Seattle's been terrible. I think they now rank 31st in run defense, in running fantasy points allowed to running backs. So that's a good one as well. James Cook I'm going to put in right now because I do think he is looking to have the edge over Devin Singletary, who did not look good last week. I think you could see Cook winning the battle for opportunities this coming week, and the Bears are an excellent matchup for fantasy running backs too. So I'm going to already slot Cook in because I like his matchup a lot, and I like his role growing this week as well. That's pretty much all I had from running back. So I want to go with Kamara and James Cook. Where do we have Kamara here? Oh, and the other one I'll go with as well. I'll mention Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco, I think in these kinds of matchups, like now we have Jerick McKinnon at 5,900, right? If you're seeing that on your screen. And then you look at Pacheco, where did he go here? Yeah, 5,700. So I like going Pacheco because everybody's seen McKinnon the last 2 weeks, the RB1. But Pacheco has had more rushing attempts, is getting the inside the 5 work, the red zone rushing attempts. He has the better chance to score. McKinnon has just hit some explosive plays. Not to take away from McKinnon. He's been excellent for this team. But I like Pacheco as someone to see like 20-plus carries in this game. As 9.5-point home favorites against Seattle. I know they should have been, in a better game script for him last week against Houston, but another good chance to do that and shore things up in this one. So I'm going to go Pacheco as well. Tight end. Again, I looked at this before we started. There's one that really I really want to grab in my mind, and that is Daniel Bellinger. I think the Giants against Minnesota will need to lean on the pass. I mentioned it about Daniel Jones. Bellinger actually ran the second most routes on the team behind Darius Slayton. Definitely something to keep an eye on. He obviously didn't have a big fantasy performance last week. I think he had 1 reception on 4 targets for like a couple yards. But I think that's really interesting. And this is a matchup where I think the Giants will struggle mightily to run the ball and need to lean on Jones' arm in this one. So I like Bellinger quite a bit in this matchup. So he gives me a great cheap option to go to, only 3,800, 3,900. So let's look at now what's left, which is wide receiver and a flex spot. So I got about 5,400 left to spend. I wanted to bring this up as well. I don't think I can make it work, but Gabriel Davis. I think Gabe Davis is a really good look in this matchup. The Bears, like I mentioned, have struggled defensively quite a bit. Stephon Diggs takes a lot of your attention, and the Bears can be susceptible to some big plays through the pass game. We saw it against the Eagles as well. So I think this could be a good play for Davis to finally find the end zone. He's given you some he's getting 6-7 targets a game, but he hasn't hit those touchdowns or hit those big plays in a couple of weeks now. I think you could see that happen. So I definitely think that Gabe Davis is a decent play this week as well. One that I want to go to though, Terry McLaurin, 6K. I think for the Commanders, the pass game is going to have to be a focus here because of how immensely we look at teams struggle running the ball against San Francisco. They're the #1 defense against the run. They're still good against the pass and have looked good against the pass, but I think the Commanders will need to lean through the air, and I think McLaurin and all their receivers honestly benefit from that, but I'd like to go McLaurin of the three. The second I would definitely go to is Jahan Dotson, but we're asking him to score for like a third straight week to really give us a week that's going to make us some money here in the 25K Holiday Smash contest. So I'm going to go with McLaurin there, and then that leaves me with what, about 4,800? Drake London. Drake London, to me, we saw 11 targets last week, 7 receptions, gave us a solid floor, solid numbers. I think he does that again. We've got the Baltimore Ravens, who are an elite run defense. They're allowing like 60 rushing yards per game to running backs. They'll do this again here against Atlanta's offense, and I think they're going to need to lean on the pass in this game, which is going to be tough with Ritter, but we've seen Ritter use London as that crutch for him in the pass game. So I like London in this matchup because I think it's one that they'll need to go to the air too. So that is full lineup built. Fields at QB. Then we got Sam Darnold in the Superflex spot, stacked with DJ Moore, James Cook and Alvin Kamara at running back, Terry McLaurin as the second wide receiver with Moore, and then Daniel Bellinger at tight end, who I love this week, and Isaiah Pacheco and Drake London in the flex spots. Again, if you guys are new, if you guys haven't been on the platform yet, that link to sign up is down below in the description. Would love it if you guys signed up and get to play on the platform for an awesome weekend of fantasy football, especially if you're eliminated from your fantasy leagues. This is the best way to get in and hopefully make you some money too, because we're giving you a bunch to get you going as well. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.